June is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, so Dr. Jody Nicholson, she's joining us. She's the PACT study director at UNF, and we're going to discuss the signs and symptoms that we all should be aware of. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me today.
Yes, so touch on the importance of spreading awareness.
Sure. So I think that everybody knows somebody who has been touched with Alzheimer's or dementia. It is just so pervasive in our society, and therefore I think it's something that people really worry about. So I want to be here to talk about what's normal in aging, because I think some people have fear that's unfounded.
Right.
But then also we want people who have legitimate concerns about their memory and cognitive performance to seek some help.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people too, when they think, oh, I keep forgetting stuff, that they're automatically thinking, oh no, I'm headed in the direction that we don't want to head, right? But sometimes that's just normal. So can you also talk about what is normal with memory and aging?
Absolutely. So development is a series of gains and losses. Changes are expected. So as we get older, we are going to see speed of processing can be a little bit slower. You're going to have something called tip of the tongue phenomenon more. You've had it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You can't remember quite what that word is.
Yep.
And those things are to be expected. But then we also see how we can counter that with all of our lived experiences and our expertise. So while we're going to see the brain peak in performance at 25, the average CEO for the Forbes 500 companies is 57.
Okay, so it's not all downhill after 40.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is a misnomer.
Oh,
People,
okay, good.
yes, people think that it's after 40 that we're going to see all these declines. You are going to see some changes. I just hit 40. I have seen some of those changes.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. I'm not worried about them.
Good.
Because I can see also the changes in the gains that I've had, in how that I've experienced expertise. I know how to handle things. So that younger person might do something faster, but you have to work smarter, not harder, right?
And you have a couple examples too that you can
Yes,
tell us about.
yes. So I want to give two examples to help us to see how we can be creative in compensating for some changes that you will see that are natural. So let me talk about my dad first. My dad is an engineer, and when he was in his 60s, he was seeing that when he was going back and forth between spreadsheets, that it was harder for him to remember those numbers. And so I helped him set up with an extended desktop so he could have his spreadsheets on both screens at once. And that's a way that he could compensate for those natural memory changes.
Okay, and then your second example?
My second example is one of my very good friends who is 93.
Wow.
And he is he's just a great example of how we can be sure that we're doing our best to continue to stay active and engaged. So he was a baseball player, and then as he got older, he picked up golf, and then recently he's picked up croquet.
Okay, so still having fun.
Exactly, having fun, being socially engaged, being physically active, but accepting that there are some limitations that we're going to have.
Okay, so we talked about the normal aging process, how your memory could be affected. Now let's talk about the signs of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Absolutely. So I want to be sure that people have resources. And I would recommend, if anybody is worried, to go to the AARP website or to the Alzheimer's Association website, because they have a list of things to look for. Now, when you look down this list, everybody is going to say, oh, I do at least one thing on those lists. But what's important is thinking about the frequency and severity.
Okay.
So if you're doing multiple things on the list, or if you're doing something pretty extreme. So if you forget your keys, which we all do,
yeah.
right? That's okay. If you forget what your keys are for, that's something that shows that your brain is processing things in a way that isn't concerning.
Okay, and then tell us a little bit about what you do at UNF.
Absolutely, thank you. So I am the site PI for Preventing Alzheimer's with Cognitive Training, or PACT. And this is something I'm very proud, because it shows the hope that we have for the future in terms of Alzheimer's. I represent just one of so many studies in the Jacksonville community that are trying to find a solution for this disease. Now, what's unique about PACT is we are focusing on prevention. So we are looking for volunteers over 65 who are cognitively typical for their age, and we want to help them to learn a computerized cognitive training program that we're testing out to see if it's effective in preventing Alzheimer's.
And how do they sign up for this?
So I would like people to go to pactstudy.org. We have two sites here in Jacksonville, because you know how big Jacksonville is.
Oh yeah.
So my site is at UNF, And then the other site is downtown. So they can go to the website and look at the different locations, and they can fill out a form, and we'll give them a call and see if they're eligible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for helping us out with this today and what we should be looking for, and we can help spread that awareness.
Thank you.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this interview again, you know you can head to our website as well.